And we are live. What's going on YouTube Live? It's your boy Billy Rowe. Today is Wednesday. I'd like to welcome you to the first row. And if it is Wednesday, you should know what that means by now. It's time for the Wednesday word. That's Wednesday word. Jumping into it, straight into it. Tonight's topic is before now. Now, I always like to share what I mean by my topics. What do I mean by the topic before now? Really, what it means is we all have this past that is connected to our present. And that before now period is truly that past that most people don't see. Most people only see where we are at now. And so tonight, what we're going to talk about is that period before the now that makes up, I guess, the foundation of the now. That most people, again, don't have insights to, don't get to see and if there are people who do get to see it, they only get to see a small portion of it. However, we ourselves get to see and experience all of it. So tonight I have 3 tools for you for the first row that I want to share with you in regards to this topic of before now and how we can actually use our past to our advantage in the present. So let's jump straight into it. So the very first tool when it comes to before now is remember, everyone has a time before now. Again, like I said, when we think about this before now concept, we always think of it from the perspective of people don't know what they don't know about you personally. People don't know what they don't know about your past. People don't know what they don't know about your struggles. However, because everyone has a before now, including you, including me, we are very intimately aware of what our struggles and our challenges have been on the road to get to where we are now. And so why it's important to remember this is for 2 reasons. Number one, the first part being that because everyone has a before now, we don't have to feel like our struggles, our challenges, our difficulties are ours alone, that we have to face them alone. Hey, what's going on, Bruni? They are not just unique to us. They are not isolated only to us. They are something that everybody experiences. Now, we may experience them in varying degrees. However, they are something that everybody experiences. So the first part is understanding that you're not the only one going through this. So don't feel like the universe, the world, God, or anybody else has it out for you. This is unfortunately and fortunately a part of the development that we go through as we grow in life. The second part of that is not just understanding that everybody has them so you're not alone, but understanding that everyone has these challenges so that you can have compassion for others. And not in the sense of just feeling sorry for people. I don't mean like a victim mentality compassion. What I mean is like having compassion that where people are today, they probably had to do some work that you're unaware of to get there. Even sometimes when people are maybe lower than you, if you want to use the different levels of the law of 33, you have people who are lower than you, people who are at your level, and people who are above your level. And so if there's a 33% of the people in your group are below your level, even though they're below your level, they had to go through some things just to be where they're at below your level. And they'll probably go through some more things in life that will expand upon their growth, that will expand upon their development and put them in a place where they may move up to that 33% where they're on the same level as you, or they may move beyond it. But realizing that everyone has a time before now. Everyone has struggles. Everyone has challenges. Everyone has a past. Everyone has made mistakes. Realizing that allows you to connect with them on a human level and realize that there's some areas where they may need some compassion, that they haven't maybe either experienced some of the challenges that you experienced earlier in life, or they're still struggling for some of the challenges that they've experienced earlier in life. Either way, everyone has a before now. Everyone has a past. And it's important to remember that everybody has that past in which who they are today is founded upon. So that's tool number one. The other thing about tool number one, before I move on to tool number 2, that's really important is to understand that the concept of everyone has a before now can be covered sometimes when we go through traumatic experiences in life and we enact these self-defense mechanisms, or we'll say, like if I cut my hand, like a really bad cut on my hand, yeah, it'll heal up, but that area will have a scar over it. And what people don't understand, many people don't know about scar tissue is that tissue is easier actually to re-injure than regular everyday tissue that hasn't been damaged before. So just like that injury of a cut can have a scar and it be damaged, people can have triggers from their before now, from their past, from their experiences that are traumas to them. And so there's these triggering events that can take place that maybe, you say, a good example. I remember when I was younger, this is back when bagging was a thing. And I don't know if they call it bagging, snapping, or dirty dozens or whatever nowadays, but back when bagging was a thing, I was in a science camp. And this young lady and I were going back and forth, and we're just kind of bagging on each other. And I forget, she says something about me. And I was like, oh, how you going to bag on me when, you can't even talk straight? And I didn't know the girl actually had stutters. She was just kind of stuttering with her comeback. And I was like, you can't even talk straight. How you going to bag on me? Well, that was a trauma for her because she had been picked on all of her life about her speech. And so in this pressure situation, her before now of being picked on, where she's like, okay, I got over it. I'm in science camp with smart kids. We're not going to have bullying. We're not going to be bagging on each other. And here we are bagging, and I'm not being malicious. To me, we're just having fun. But I say something that triggers her. And just like when you have an injury and the weather changes, I don't know if you're old enough, but when the weather changes and you can feel that injury, that's exactly what happened here. That speaking or bagging or joking about her stutter triggered something in her to where she went from having fun to being really upset. So that's the other part about understanding that everyone has a time before now. Everyone has a time before now, and some of us have traumas that have not been healed or have not been resolved or have not been rectified. And so it's important to keep in mind that there can be situations that come up that you think are kind of like lighthearted or not a big deal, but when it's a trauma trigger for someone else, that is a big deal to them. And it's just good to keep that in mind and try to have understanding about that, because at the end of the day, I hope if you're on the first row, your intention is to connect with other humans and other people deeply. And in order to do that, that may mean you might piss them off from time to time. And that's okay, but you just got to be compassionate and understanding in order how to get back to the connection that you want to establish, or let the connection go altogether. Depends on how you feel about it. So that's tool number one. Tool number two is, when it comes to the before now, is establish a gratitude routine. Man, I cannot tell you how important this tool is. First off, before I even get into the details of the tool, let's just talk about what a gratitude routine is. A gratitude routine is simply having a moment, whether it's in the day, in the week, in the month, that you stop, you intentionally pause, stop all the things that you're doing, and just think about the things that you're grateful for. This routine is so critical to understanding and moving forward in connections with people based on their before now. When you have a gratitude routine, what that does is it puts you in a place it almost puts you in a place where there's a constant reminder of the things that you can appreciate about in the present. Why? Because there was a time before the present that those things may not have existed, that those tools may not have been available to you. Today, I actually had to take my car into the shop. I needed to get a thermostat replaced and I needed to get an oil change. Not a big deal to get those things done. However, the bill came and it was like $450. And I was like, man, $450. And I'm sitting there, I'm talking to the guy, and I was like, hey, the price is what the price is. And I don't think I was overcharged by any means, because I'm not going to get in there and change out these tools or change my oil or replace the part. So I'm like, $450. Okay, I assumed it was going to be around that price point. I'm good with that. But I had a moment where immediately gratitude came to my heart, came to my mind. Was that, man, I remember there was a time where if somebody would have said, hey, look, my first car was a 1986 or 84 Nissan Sentra hatchback, and I called it the Gray Bomber. There was a time that if somebody would have said, hey, Billy, it's going to take $450 to replace your car, what that meant for me was I had to just take my chances with my car breaking down because I didn't have $450. So that gratitude routine, not that I'm just sitting here grateful for the money that I have and all these things. That's not necessarily the things that I'm grateful for during my gratitude routine or my gratitude check-in. However, I'm sorry, I didn't even put the next tool up, but that's not necessarily what I'm grateful for. However, having that practice of being grateful, having that established gratitude routine makes it easier to transition into a sense or a state of gratitude when you're dealing with things that are challenging in the present. And this is a very critical tool for enacting enacting the power or igniting, I'm sorry, the power that is available to us from our past. When we understand we have a before now, yet we have a gratitude routine, we're constantly fluctuating between the now and the past. And we're able to quickly assess what things in the past used to be an issue, used to be a challenge. $450 used to be a challenge. I'm not saying it's a cakewalk now, but it's not the challenge that it used to be. I didn't have to worry about my car overheating and then getting it towed to the shop and then hopefully having the money by the time the car is repaired to get my car out. So that's tool number 2, is establish a gratitude routine, some type of check-in, whether it's weekly, daily, monthly. I don't care. I don't think you should go beyond monthly personally. If you do, that's up to you. But I think if you do it at bare minimum monthly, I think that the benefit of having that routine will start to reflect when you're experiencing things in your now, because you'll always have a means to go back and look at your before now and see when things weren't so easily overcome. We'll say that. So that's tool number 2, establishing a gratitude routine. And then tool number three, and I debated on making this tool number 1, and I didn't want it to be tool number 2, is most of what you go through won't be seen. Before now is a two-way street. For us, most of what we go through won't be seen. It's a personal journey. There have been numerous times, I mean, especially even now, as a person who does inspirational content, people just assume things are okay with you because you are producing content. You're producing inspiration. However, the challenge with that is that when you are going through things, even if you're talking to people, even if you're, interacting with people and you seem pleasant and it seems like nothing's wrong, or even sometimes if you allude to things being wrong, people assume, for me sometimes, hey, Billy's okay. He's got it. He's strong-willed. He's human. Let's just go away from all that. He's human. And so I have my days where I'm high. I have my days where I'm low. Fortunately, again, I think I shared this in the last Wednesday word. I'm at a pretty good place mental health wise to where things are going on a really good plateau of healthiness. And I'm trying to either keep it there or have it go up. That's it. But if there is a day where I am going through something, I might talk to a friend. And even in that moment, they may not realize that just being there for a conversation, just being there for an ear, a shoulder to lean on, or somebody to bounce ideas off of and get feedback from, just those small things add to help to alleviate the pressures and the stress that I might be under in the moment. The reason I say it's a two-way street, though, is because though most of what you go through won't be seen, realize that most of what people go through won't be seen either. And so it's almost like going back to somebody and saying, oh, they are struggling, but they paid this bill that's $30. Where a $30 bill, I mean, I pretty much have $30 in my account at all time. That's not a big thing for me at this point in life. However, for somebody who's at $30 being a big thing, I remember what it was like to go through that, where it's like, okay, I got $5.98. I can go to Jack in the Box and get like this value meal, but I can't get this. Or I can go to the store and get a can of beans, but I can't get ramen to go with the beans. Like, I remember what that was. And so to get to where I am today, to where my car can break down, or not break down, I'm sorry, the check engine light can come on and it's a problem that I can fix, versus having these $30 problems where it's like, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to have the money to take care of that. That is something that people are at where they're at, and you don't know what they've gone through to even get to the level they're at today. Somebody could have been homeless before, and now they're struggling to scrape $30 together. I don't know about you, but if that's their before now, and you can, not that you would know that, but if that's their before now, and they're at where they're at today, where they're trying to scrape $30 together to get some groceries, but they have a roof over their head, they've grown immensely, because being homeless is no joke. I live in Utah and it is super cold outside. So I couldn't imagine a day where I had to live outside and rely on a tent and blankets to keep me from freezing to death. So realize, again, most of what you go through won't be seen, but most of what other people are going through will not be seen. And even if you feel like you are an insider to a person's struggle, realize that even then there are aspects of that struggle that you are 100% unaware of, because I don't believe that it is possible for us to share everything that we're going through, because if we were able to share everything that we were going through, we would have to be able to understand everything that we're going through in the time that we're going through it. And well, I know for myself, I haven't arrived at that place where, oh, I'm going through this and this is what I'm going through, and now I can tell everybody what I'm going through. I haven't arrived at that place, and I work immensely on personal growth, personal development, and articulation. So I can only imagine, especially in my youth, how would I ever be able to share all the things that I was going through at the time? So that's tool number 3. Those are the 3 tools I have for you for the first row tonight. Let's quickly go over them. Tool number 1, being, remember, everyone has a time before now. We all start somewhere. We all start somewhere. That's the best way to say it. We all start somewhere. We just happen to interact with each other in the now. Tool number 2 is establish a gratitude routine. Find a reason to be grateful for now and the before now. Because as you practice being grateful for things, as you experience challenges in the present, what will happen is you will, instead of leaning towards complaining and complacency, you'll start leaning towards appreciation and growth. And then tool number 3 is most of what you go through won't be seen. And again, that's just simply saying that our journey is personal for each and every one of us. And so as we're moving through our journey, try to have give yourself a little bit of grace. That was a thought of the day this week. Give yourself some grace, but also extend that grace to others and realize that today is their first day at today. And they had a journey to get here. So it might be a win for them that they just showed up. So those are the 3 tools that I have for you today. As always with the Wednesday Word, I like to share a personal story, something that got me thinking about the topic. And tonight, I actually want to share a personal story that is not my personal story. This story is about a friend that I'm very close with. And I'm always believe that you can share stories without sharing the name. You can just share the information and the lesson. So this is not my story. However, I got to witness a portion of this person's journey for their before now. And so with this particular friend, we've been friends, I think, for over, 12, 13 years now. We've been friends for over 13 years now. And I remember when they started out working and seeing them move, because of the nature of the job that they do. They were moving from kind of company to company and kind of gaining traction, getting experience, moving up. And they came to this point in their career where they had an opportunity to take a position with a company that was going to really help accelerate their career growth and really increase their value from a corporate perspective. And I remember we were having this conversation one time. It was like 4 o'clock, almost 5 o'clock in the morning. And they were driving from the city they lived in. Their commute was like 2.5 hours to get to their job. They're driving to work. And they were like, I got to wake up and I got to get on this road. Nobody else is going to get on this road for me. Nobody else is going to go and do my job for me. Nobody else is going to go and do the work for me. I have to get up and I have to go and do what I need to do in order to get this money and get this experience. And I watched them do that for a little over 1.5 years. And then I seen they got a new position with a new company and they made more money. And they stayed there for a while. And then they got a new position with a new company and they made more money. And I constantly kept seeing this growth, but I never forgot that there was a time where they had to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get on the road by 4:30 to get to their job on time. Like, that was bananas to me. But that's what I mean by that before now moment. Whereas people see, they have a nice car, they have a nice house, they have nice things. They don't see that before now work. And I'm sure there was even more work that I didn't even see. This person has kids. So if they have kids, there's probably nights where they're helping late with homework, but they're also trying to get to bed so that they can wake up at 4 o'clock and go out and do what they need to do for work. There's also times where they're probably sick and don't feel well that I'm not aware of, that they're still struggling to get up and get out and go and do work. So this was their before now. The portion that I did see was, hey, you got to get up and you got to get at it pretty early in the morning. I seen that portion, but there was also another portion that I'm aware of that I don't even know the uh, how huge of this portion of their journey was in their before now. This person's overall objective initially when they were younger was to go to the league. They wanted to play ball. They wanted to make athlete money. They wanted to be an athlete. They were very passionate about athletics, and that dream didn't manifest for them. And so, how easy it is to say, "Oh, here's this person who's now very successful, has all these things, wonderful life, and all these wonderful things," but how easy it is to not know that there were dreams that this person had that never came to realization, that they never were able to realize. And so that's really what the before now is to take a moment to not only look at your life internally, but also look at the lives of others externally and realize that there's struggles and challenges that they have gone through. There's failures that they have experienced. There's dreams that they have not achieved. There's some dreams that maybe they never will achieve. That's all in there before now. And that's okay for them, but take it for yourself as well. It's okay that these things are in your past. It's okay that these things have helped shape who you are. It's okay to have a couple of trauma triggers. It's okay, because we all have something that makes up who we are today. Now, we should try to work on our trauma triggers, because you shouldn't be trying to flash on people. Because I tell you, my trauma trigger is knock you out. Like if you trigger a trauma with me, you're probably going to get beat up. So it's okay to have trauma triggers, but make sure that you're working on those things to kind of alleviate that scar tissue so you can build up some toughness on your own self. But that's what before now is about. It's about understanding the foundation that you came from and what got you to where you are now. And that grace that you need to extend, that forgiveness that you need to extend, that understanding and compassion that you both need to extend to yourself and to others. So that's what the Wednesday Word is about. I hope you guys have enjoyed the Wednesday Word. As always, I enjoy coming and doing these Wednesday Words. I can't tell you enough how much I enjoy doing them. It gives me a moment to really focus my mind and get on a clear thinking level of what it is I want to focus on, what it is I want to grow for this week for myself and for the audience of the first row. Speaking of what's coming up on the first row for the audience of the first row, we actually have an upcoming new show between my very, very good friend, I almost said my sister she might as well be my sister at this point, Terralyn Michelle. She's a life coach. She has a podcast, The Grind Defined. We're going to have an upcoming show on the first row coming soon. It's going to probably be on Tuesdays. We're still trying to work out the details on it. But it's going to be a show called Terralyn Michelle and Billy Rowe Live. And it's just going to be an hour live conversation. This is me getting back to that world of intersation. Stay tuned, because that's going to have to come back soon too. Might only be one a month, but it's going to be coming back soon as well. So that show, I want you to be on the lookout. Stay tuned if you want to see, if you'll see that information come out on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever you find First Row, firstrow.com. You'll see that information come out there, but be on the lookout for that show. And then our next upcoming Wednesday Word, that will be on Wednesday, February 16th, and that will be at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The topic will be Create Joy. You might want to remember about that. Create a gratitude routine, because create joy is the next thing you'll be creating. But creating joy, and that's a really important topic for me. If you want to know what that's about, you're going to have to tune in to see it live or catch it via the replay. Also, just a reminder to let you know, the pre-sales for Fire Your Job, Hire Your Passion, my upcoming release book. It will be actually released. I don't know if you've already pre-ordered the book. You should have received an email letting you know that the release date was pushed from the 15th of February to the 28th due to a distribution delay. However, I do want to show you, because I did get the proofs. And this book is a beautiful book. It smells good. Ooh, it smells so good. And I also got the journal. If you are going to embark on this journey, I'm going to let you know now, there is some type of writing utensil and paper or electronic something that you're going to need to successfully complete this journey. But these two will be coming out. These are the hard cover editions. The soft cover editions will also be coming out on the 28th of February is when I plan to have those shipped out. So if you have not pre-ordered yours yet, I would do so now. And if you have, then the 28th, I will be sending that back out. I'll be sending that out to everyone. And then last but not least, this is another announcement. So we got a new show on the rise. Interstations are on their way back, but we're not going to say anything more about that. And then last but not least, we actually, where the firstrow.com, www.1st.com, where you can actually buy your copy or pre-order your copy of the book tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am actually going to release a limited supply of First Row merchandise. The limited supply is, as you can see, my hoodies right here. The hoodies will be available. There is a very small quantity of them. The sizes are large and extra large. That's all I got. That's all I got. And then also there are t-shirts, First Row t-shirts. The hoodies come in black and navy blue. The First Row t-shirts, they have the First Row logo on the front, and on the back they say, fire your job, hire your passion. Shout out to the book. But those will be released tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's a limited supply. It's going to be first come, first serve. So if you're here live on the First Row, you are the first to know. I will put a post up on social media tomorrow at that time so other people can know that it's going to come out. But if you tuned in live or you watched via the replay before, you got the head start. So mark your calendar, set your alarm on your phone. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. As always, if you like this video, share it. If you share it, like it. I'm always happy to engage with you in the chat. I'm always happy, and thank you for you guys engaging tonight in the chat, but I'm always happy to engage with you the first 7 days that the content is up if you're watching via the replay in the comments. But until the next time, thank you guys for sitting on the First Row. One love, peace, and God bless. Have a good evening.